My name is Thor. German Shepherd. 3 years of service. K-9 unit with the Estes Park Police Department. I was trained for the worst. Drug detection, suspect tracking, search and rescue, hostile situations. I thought I understood danger until that night, until room 217 at the Stanley Hotel. Because what I felt behind that door wasn't human. It wasn't alive. It was something trapped between worlds, angry, violent, and hungry for the living. And when you face something like that, every instinct you have screams to run. Before I continue, subscribe to the channel to never miss horror stories like this, and to honor the dogs who keep the evil away. Here at Midnight Barks, each story brings a new dog, a new place, a new terror. And this one will make you rethink what truly haunts the Stanley Hotel's most cursed room. Now, let the barks guide you. Let's go. The Stanley Hotel, Estes Park, Colorado. Built in 1909. Famous for inspiring Stephen King's The Shining. But the real horror is in room 217, where things move on their own. Where guests wake up to find their luggage unpacked by invisible hands. Where the bathroom runs at 3 a.m. with no one inside. And where people die in ways that can't be explained. I've been working with Officer Saratin for 3 years. Former Denver PD. Tonight would be our last patrol together. Room 217 has names attached to it. A man found dead in the bed, eyes wide open. A woman discovered in the bathtub. No water in her lungs, but drowned anyway. A person fell from the balcony at 3 a.m. A young woman, perfectly healthy, heart stopped in the middle of the night. 14 deaths total. No explanations. Just terror frozen on their faces. Comment below and tell me what city you're watching from. I need to know how far this warning spreads. Because what happened at the Stanley Hotel could happen anywhere the dead refuse to rest. Friday, October 31st, 11:34 p.m. Halloween night. Fog thick as wool wrapped around the hotel like a burial shroud. Dispatch crackled. Unit 7. Disturbance at the Stanley Hotel. Room 217. Multiple guests reporting screaming and sounds of violence. Front desk confirms the room is empty and has been sealed for months. We arrived in 6 minutes. The hotel loomed above us, windows like dead eyes, staring down. Inside the lobby, night receptionist Michael was sheet white, hands trembling. The screaming started an hour ago, he stammered. But that room is locked, sealed. No one has the key, except me and management. We need access, Sarah said firmly. No, you don't understand. That room. His voice dropped to a whisper. The last guest who stayed there ran out at 3 a.m., barefoot, bleeding, saying the walls were closing in and the dead were reaching for him through the mattress. He was found dead in his car 2 days later. They said his heart just stopped. Open the room. That's an order. Michael's hand shook as he retrieved an old brass key from a locked drawer. I'm not going in. Protocol or not. I'm not stepping foot near that door. We climbed the stairs to the second floor. The hallway stretched impossibly long. Red carpet faded and worn. Victorian wallpaper peeling at the edges. The lights flickered as we walked. Room 217 sat at the end of the hall. The door was darker than the others, wood-aged and warped. Yellow caution tape crisscrossed the frame. Do not enter. That's when I felt it, before the key even touched the lock. A presence. Massive, suffocating, hungry. My hackles shot up. A growl rumbled deep in my chest. Thor, what is it, boy? I could smell it. Not mold or dust. Something else. Something wrong. The scent of copper and decay. The smell of a place where death lingered too long. Michael fumbled with the key, his breathing rapid and shallow. Last chance to turn back. Open it, Sarah ordered. The lock clicked. The door swung inward slowly, hinges groaning like something in pain. The room was dark. Michael flipped the light switch. Nothing happened. He tried again. Nothing. Power's been dead for weeks, he muttered, handing Sarah a flashlight. His hands were shaking so badly, he almost dropped it. I'll be in the lobby. Radio if he swallowed hard. Radio if you can. He practically ran down the hallway. Sarah shined her flashlight into room 217. Standard hotel room. Queen bed, neatly made with white sheets. Dresser against the wall. Large mirror above it. Bathroom door slightly ajar on the left. Balcony doors, with heavy curtains drawn tight. Everything looked normal. Dusty, but normal. Except the temperature. It was cold. Unnaturally cold. Our breath came out in white clouds. "Jesus, it's freezing in here," Sarah whispered. But something else was wrong. The air felt thick, heavy. Like trying to breathe underwater. And the silence. Complete, oppressive silence that pressed against your ears until they rang. I stepped inside first, every muscle coiled tight. My training said, move forward. My instincts screamed run. The door slammed shut behind us. Sarah spun around. "What the?" She grabbed the handle. Locked. She twisted it hard. Nothing. Michael. No answer. She pulled her radio. Static. Dense. Crackling static. No voices. No dispatch. Just white noise. Unit 7-2 dispatch. We're locked in room 217, requesting immediate, more static. The radio was dead. Her flashlight beam swept across the room, empty, still, normal. But I could see them, in the corners. Shadows that moved wrong, shapes that didn't belong. Dark figures standing perfectly still, watching us with eyes we couldn't see. I growled, low and threatening. "Thor, what are you seeing?" Then the radio on the dresser turned on by itself. No one touched it. The dial spun rapidly through station static. Music, voices, static, screaming, static before settling on a frequency that shouldn't exist. A voice came through, distorted, wrong, speaking backwards. The bedsheets moved, not from wind. There was no wind. They rippled, like something underneath was breathing, slowly rising and falling. Sarah's flashlight locked onto the bed. Oh God. The sheets began to twist, tightening, knotting themselves into shapes, into nooses. The lights above us flickered, on, off, on, faster, strobing the room in split-second flashes. And in those flashes, I saw them clearly now. The dead, standing around the room. A figure by the window, neck bent at an impossible angle. A woman near the bathroom, dripping wet, skin blue and bloated. A person by the balcony doors, body twisted and broken. A young woman at the foot of the bed, eyes black and empty. All of them staring at Sarah. All of them smiling. Not friendly smiles. Hungry smiles. "Thor, I can feel it. Something's here. Something's wrong." The bathroom door swung open slowly. Water started running. Full blast. The sink, the shower, the toilet flushing over and over and over. Then the laughter started. Children's laughter, high-pitched, echoing from the bathroom, getting louder, more manic, more wrong. Sarah aimed her flashlight at the bathroom. The beam caught the mirror above the sink, and in the reflection, standing right behind her, was a woman. Gray hair pulled back, long black dress, face pale as death, eyes hollow and dark. Her mouth opened impossibly wide, and a scream came out not from her reflection, but from everywhere at once. Sarah spun around, nothing there. But the scream continued, louder, piercing. The mirror cracked, spiderweb fractures spreading across the glass. The dresser drawers flew open, clothes exploded out, whipping through the air like they were alive. The bed lifted off the ground, hovering 3 feet up, sheets writhing like snakes. "Sarah, get down," I barked, but she couldn't understand me. The figures moved closer. The one by the window stepped forward, bones cracking. The woman near the bathroom left wet footprints on the carpet. The person by the balcony doors jerked and twitched with each step, and the young woman, her mouth opened and black smoke poured out, filling the room with the smell of death and rot. Sarah backed against the door, pounding on it. "Help! Someone help us!" The radio on the dresser screamed, not static anymore. Human voices, dozens of them, screaming in agony, begging for help, crying out names of loved ones. The temperature plummeted. Ice formed on the windows. Frost crawled across the walls. Sarah pulled her weapon. "Stay back. I'm warning you." But bullets don't stop the dead. The figure by the window lunged forward. Sarah fired. The bullet passed through it like it was smoke. It grabbed her arm. Its touch was ice. She screamed. I launched myself at it. 80 pounds of fury. My jaws closed on its arm and found solid flesh. Cold. Wrong, but solid. I bit down hard and it shrieked, stumbling backward. Sarah ripped her arm free and fired at the door lock. Once, twice, 3 times. The lock shattered. She kicked the door open and we ran, but the hallway was wrong. Not the same hallway we'd entered from. This one stretched endlessly in both directions. The carpet was darker, stained. The wallpaper was rotting, peeling off in long strips. The lights were dim, flickering, some completely dead, and the doors, dozens of doors lining both sides, all identical, all marked 217. What the hell? Sarah gasped. Where are we? I could smell it. The hotel had changed. We weren't in our world anymore. We were somewhere else, somewhere between, a twisted reflection of the Stanley Hotel. A place where the dead lived. Behind us, the door to the real room 217 slammed shut and vanished, replaced by solid wall. Sarah ran left. I followed. We passed door after door, all saying 217, all identical. She tried one, locked another, locked another. It opened and inside was room 217 again. Same bed, same mirror, same dead people standing in the corners, turning to look at us with hollow eyes and hungry smiles. She slammed it shut and ran. The hallway twisted, turned, split into intersections that shouldn't exist, left or right. She chose left. More doors. More 217s. The carpet squelched under our feet, wet with something dark. We're trapped. Sarah's voice cracked. We're trapped in here forever. Behind us, footsteps. Slow, steady. The dead were following. Their voices echoed through the impossible hallways. Stay with us. Join us. Forever and ever and ever. Sarah was panicking, hyperventilating, running blind. But I knew something she didn't. I could smell it. Beneath the rot and decay and death. Beneath the wrongness of this place, I could smell the way out. Fresh air. Reality. Home, I barked. Sharp, commanding. Sarah looked at me. Thor. I barked again and took off running. Not away from something, toward something. Following the scent. The trail that led back to our world. Thor. Wait. But she followed. Trust. Partnership. 3 years of working together. She trusted me. I led her through the maze of hallways. Right turn, left. Straight. Another right. Past countless doors. Past shadows that reached for us. Past voices that screamed and begged and threatened. The dead ran behind us now. Faster. Their footsteps pounding. Their screams growing louder. Getting closer. I have to stop, Sarah gasped. I can't, I barked again. Fierce. We were close, so close. Ahead. One door different from the others. Not marked 217. Marked exit. The exit. Sarah sprinted toward it. The dead rushed from all sides, hands reaching. Faces twisted in rage. The woman's bloated fingers grabbed at Sarah's jacket. The figure by the window's broken body lurched forward. Sarah slammed into the exit door. It flew open. Light. Blinding. Beautiful light. Real light. We tumbled through, and the door slammed shut behind us. We were in the Stanley Hotel lobby. The real lobby. Michael stood behind the desk, staring at us in shock. What, you've been gone for 3 hours? We called for backup. They're on the way. Sarah collapsed on the floor, gasping, crying, shaking. I pressed against her, and she wrapped her arms around me, holding on like I was the only real thing in the world. Thor knew, she whispered. Thor knew the way out. He saved us. The backup arrived. Paramedics, other officers. Statements were taken. The door to room 217 was sealed with steel, welded shut, never to be opened again. But Sarah was done. She filed her resignation the next day. I can't do this anymore, she told me. I can't face things like that. I'm not strong enough. But she was strong enough to do one thing. She filed the paperwork to adopt me. The department approved it immediately. Now Sarah works at a veterinary clinic. Quiet, safe, normal. And I live with her, not as a K-9 unit, as her companion, her guardian, her friend. Some nights, she wakes up screaming. Nightmares about endless hallways and dead people with hungry smiles. And I'm there, always, pressed against her, reminding her she's safe. She's home. We made it out together. Because that's what we do. We protect each other. We stand together, always. If this horror story gave you chills, hit that like button and tell me in the comments, what haunted place should the next story happen in? Don't forget to subscribe to Midnight Barks for more real horror told by the dogs who lived it. And remember, if your dog refuses to enter a room, growls at empty spaces, or pulls you away from somewhere, trust them. They see what you don't. Listen to your dog. Stand with your dog, always.